So today, the agenda for the call is to go over number one, the release highlights for version 1.16 that came out on Monday. One footnote: going forward, we're gonna try to make these monthly calls right after the release. So we're gonna always try to release on the last Monday of the month, and then have the community call the Wednesday right after that, so that we can discuss what's new in that release. Kind of like start sort of voting for priority issues, and basically try to make sure that everyone understands what's new in every release. And then we're also going to discuss. I want to take this chance to discuss a new idea that Fede posted on Discord about the idea of a community strategy. And this is something that we'll discuss during the call. Next, I'll vote in the new priority issues poll that was created, where we allow people to decide what issues we review in the next month. And then finally, Nico from Injective will give a demo of the new Injective connector. All right, so let's get started. In terms of release highlights, so these are the version 1.16 highlights here. So the big thing in this release, I think, is the addition of the new dashboard that we just rolled out. And this is something that people have asked for a long time. I think ever since we started Hummingbot, users have asked us to create some type of graphical interface for Hummingbot. And for a long time we resisted that because we felt that Hummingbot was it's really a command line tool, and we wanted people to be able to deploy Hummingbot in all kind of environments, in multi-bot instances, and for them to use it without having to kind of like have to use a graphical interface. So that's why we think the dashboard is actually kind of gives us the best of both worlds, because the dashboard is actually a separate component. It's a totally separate application, so it's a standalone. You only have to run it if you only want to. But we do think that because it's an easier to see what's going on. You can kind of like if you run this alongside a strategy, you can kind of like basically drag this time interval to see only the performance in that interval. And in the future, we can probably create more dashboards for more types of strategies, as well as dashboards to other things. So overall, we see the dashboard as kind of like one of the main tools that people will use going forward in order to control their bots and to see what's going on with their bots' performance. So it is experimental, so that's why we encourage you to just test it out. We had to make some changes to the trades database in order to make the database work with the dashboard. So that's why this strategy performance dashboard only works on strategies that you run in version 1.16 or later. But over time, we believe that the dashboard will become the main interface that people use to control their Hummingbots. So people can still access it by command line, but we think the average user is probably going to utilize a dashboard of some sort. The other big improvement we made in the version 1.16 release was simplifying the Docker installation process. So in the past, we had two Docker images, one for x86 architectures and another one for ARM. So what that meant was for users who were on ARM machines, like Apple M1s, they would have to kind of find another Docker image, and then we had a lot of people who were confused like which one they had to use. So in the new one, there's only one single Docker image because we're using Docker build X to create a multi-architecture image. And in addition, we also only have one environment.yaml file. So instead of having separate environments for Mac, Linux, and Windows, there's only one environment file that defines a single set of dependencies, and that makes it much easier to maintain Hummingbot going forward. Additional changes in this release. Alongside a roadmap, what we're doing is we're adding more support for different order types to different connectors, and it's part of Hummingbot's ongoing evolution from into more of like a developer framework that allows people to build whatever strategies they want. So as part of that, we've added market orders to Binance and Binance Perpetual already, and we've created bounties for the community to add ones for other exchanges, and we've seen the first set of those be rolled out in this release with Gate Perpetual as well as DYDX. So bounties, we've been rolling out bounties of the last couple of releases, and we're seeing pickup increase quite significantly. So currently the bounties board looks like this, where we have currently 4 open bounties. We'll be adding a bit more here in the next week. We currently have 6 assigned bounties for people to work on. So these are a mix of like existing larger bounties from before, like the Ripple Dex chain connector, some of the updates ones we added, like the adding crypto.com, adding market orders to Ascendex, adding candles fee to Gate Spot Perpetual, as well as a content bounty here that for the orchestration module. In addition, we're also reviewing a bunch that people have already submitted, and so overall we feel like the bounties process is working, and we're always looking for more developers who want to get involved and start earning bounties. The other more changes in this release, so we added a few script examples from people who've taken BotCamp. We added a new connector for the Algorand blockchain, as well as TinyMan, the main AMM DEX on Algorand, and a couple of community connectors. So Foxbit is a Brazilian exchange that one of the community maintainers, one of the community members, works at. So they built the connector and submitted in and got that voted in via Snapshot. And so to us, this is a great use of the HBot governance system. Similarly, Famex is a perpetual exchange based in Singapore, and so Coin Alpha built that connector and also used governance to vote that in. So overall, we're, as you can see, we're actually seeing a lot more updates now, and so this is a testament to our QA team. We have a very small team, but because we were able to really work with the community and leverage their expertise and time to fix bugs and get these updates done, that's kind of how we're able to do all this work in a 1 month period. So by the way, yeah, if you have questions, you can also post them. I think there's a chat here somewhere. So yeah, you can actually post a chat questions if you want. Otherwise, we'll move to the next phase of the agenda, which is this community strategies idea that we posted in Discord last week. So just to kind of give a bit more illustration on what this community strategies idea is. So the backdrop is that we have been seeing a pretty big increase in the usage of our Binance Futures connector. In terms of both the daily volume that's been reported. So at the beginning of the year, it was less than 1 million per day, and in April and May, we've seen usage of Binance Futures go up to as high as 100 million per day in volume. And obviously volume is very volatile, but this is also kind of matched by an increase in the number of active bots that people are actually actually running. So that's also quintupled throughout the course of the year. So why is that? We believe it's because of the new kind of directional strategy content and components we've added, like the candles feed, the position executor, some of the directional strategy scripts, and also because all that content is really only designed for Binance and Binance Futures, because those are the only exchanges we've supported it on. And so because of that, we're pretty excited about this change. Obviously, Hummingbot has only started with market making, but we believe that adding other strategy types is a natural evolution and allows us to really expand that user base. So because of that, we've added bounties to add these new components to other gold and silver exchanges, but we also wanted to see what we can do with improving the usage of these strategies by the community. Because for us, I think there's a flywheel here, because if more people are using Hummingbot, the more fees are being shared with us by exchanges, and then that allows us to actually take some of that that profits and then start paying bounties in stablecoin and other tokens besides HBOT. So because of that, that's kind of why we wanted to float ideas around community strategies to the community, try to get some discussion going, and try to see if we can basically do an experiment and try to see if we can basically improve the community usage of these strategies. So here's kind of like the general idea we have, which is to and the objective, as I mentioned, is to attract new users to Hummingbot, to improve the exchange fee share, but also to increase impact of voting with HBOT, and to also drive our long-term mission of making trading more transparent. So the overall idea is to have the community come up with ideas for strategies that they submit via Google form. Hopefully there's some rationale for the strategy, that the logic is pretty clear. And then what we would do is we would basically put them up for vote after a feasibility check, and allow people to vote for which ones we should basically which one we should work on and run. And so after the community decides on the top strategy, we would basically code up the strategy, publish it, and then run it with some real capital, and then basically have a public dashboard that displays the performance of that bot. So initially, we think because there's obviously many strategies you can run, and I think, and so that's why we wanted to limit it to directional strategies initially, because the new kind of changes that Fede is making currently to the directional module should make it really simple to kind of define and create these like directional strategies. So that's why we think, but we do think eventually in the future it makes sense to expand to market making other strategies. But the idea behind this public dashboard is that, I think Vic brought this up in one of her comments, is that the strategy is really dependent on what kind of changes you make afterwards, right? That's really the art of running quant trading strategies. And so that's why we think that having a public dashboard might make sense, because then we could publish a change log of any parameter changes that are made. People can kind of see like what influence those parameter changes have had on performance. And so that overall, I think that as a user, we're always thinking about trying to lower the barrier of entry, and how do we kind of make it less kind of like frightening to take real money and to run a bot with that money. So the overall, we think there's something like this would make sense. And overall, I think we haven't done it yet, mostly because we're looking for feedback on these kind of ideas, and try to leverage you guys to help us define A, if this is a good idea, and B, how do we put bounds around this, so that we can hopefully make this experiment a success. So so call to action here is nothing to do right away, but if you could look at there's a thread about this in the proposals channel on Discord. So if you could kind of give us some feedback on the idea, we really appreciate it. Okay, so going back, final thing before the Injective Demo is I'm going to vote in the new priority issues poll that was published. And so this is a poll here. So this is on our snapshot, which is where all of our polls are done. We used to have 3 snapshots. Now we just have this one main one, and now we have the other ones, the proven proposals and pull request proposals, as subspaces. So the main difference is the subspaces have lower governance thresholds. So if you are going to create polls, you should create them in the subspaces. But the monthly issues poll, and these monthly polls are always governance proposals here. So what this poll decides is that essentially this poll decides which issues we should kind of like actually review and and spend time on or allocate bounties to in the next month. So just as an example, before I vote on this poll, I do want to kind of let you guys know. I think all of the issues that that were voted on in the last poll. So all 5 of these, I believe, have already been addressed. So yeah, so these issues were ones that I think that yeah, we do try to take this seriously because essentially when we look at the list of issues we try to close out every month, at the top of the list are the issues that the community nominates in this particular poll. So in the June poll, I try to do this because I want to make sure that people understand why they should vote and the impact of voting. To me, the what I always look for is like which of these issues are actually going to have the biggest impact on users, and in terms of like what are they actually using. So to me, I think UI changes like this one, this let me go to this one seems like always ones that I think should be fixed. So this one is, let's see. Yeah, it looks like Memento is a long time contributor, so it looks like he's fixed some typos in the docs. So yeah, this is probably one that we should try to see if this is if this is so I'll probably vote for this one. Let's see this one here. Okay. So this one looks like it's adding market orders to MEXC. Okay. This one, let's see. Open up all these. Okay. I'll definitely vote for this AMR one because I think that yeah, this PR probably should be reviewed. Looks like Yan Kong is updating the AMR strategy. Let's see. This one, Gate IO message looks like there's an error, potential error in Gate. Overall, this one looks like it's been closed since the user hasn't responded, so I'm actually going to close this one. Let's see. Trait ID null. Okay. I will probably vote for this one, I think. And let's see, I'll maybe do a couple more. This one here. This one. Okay. I'll probably vote for DYDX since that's one of our silver exchanges, and I think we should try that one. And then the other one is, let's see, market order. Let's see. Yeah, I'll probably add the market order one actually. I think that's the fifth one. So yeah. So that's just me voting in the poll. Hopefully that was helpful in showing you guys how to vote as well. It's not that hard, but overall, So overall, we do try to be a community-based project. Well, I think that concludes the my portion of the community call. Thank you very much for attending. But I think the part that you're all waiting for, the part that I'm waiting for, is the injective demo from our former Hummingbot alumni and friend Nico.
So you'll see that this is the default endpoints, for example, in this case for mainnet, and there are the similar endpoints for testnet. But I encourage you, if you're really into it and you want to run a hardcore trading strategy, to go ahead and look for this link, which I will share with you afterwards, which is the guide on how to set up your own local node. This is pretty interesting, pretty low level. I know it's not so
Okay.
simple. But if you do have a good a good machine, you can set up yourself your local node to connect to locally to
Okay.
the perpetual connector. So this is going to be pretty similar. So let me see, yeah, perpetual market making. So I prepared this strategy just to show you perpetual market making also. So we're gonna go here, and we're gonna go. The exchange is pretty good and also pretty fast for being a decentralized exchange. But there's also an additional thing which I think it's pretty interesting, which is that there's a trade and earn program. So well, this might be quite interesting for you. So if in case you are heavily trading, you're gonna get some rewards just for the just for trading, depending on if you are making or if you are taking. There's this table of the multipliers for the rewards, and there's also some alpha that I wanted to share with you, which is that we are talking with Coin Alpha on planning the minor program for Injective. So yeah, we're really looking forward to move ahead with that. I asked for to the BD team if we were like allowed to say this. Yes. So we are in the conversations to set up a program with rewards. It's going to be really nice to get a double reward, right? So internally and with the miner. So yeah, I guess that's all what I wanted to share with you guys.
There will likely be some minor campaigns with Injective in the future. We do recognize that there might be some issues with the connector because it's still so new. So if you guys do see any issues running strategies or having those connectors, please post them in GitHub. Both we Coin Alpha and also Injective are highly interested in making sure those are fixed.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Nico, for coming on and giving everyone at Hummingbot a demo. Yeah, we're all quite excited about the connector, and hopefully people can earn rewards and provide liquidity to Injective.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
Have to say I am personally very happy to get in touch with you guys, and so I can connect my past in Hummingbot together with my present in Injective, and we both have a nice integration.
I think that pretty much wraps up the call for this time. Overall, what we're trying to do is make these community calls a bit more engaging. So that's kind of why we're trying to make governance a big part of it overall. And I think we have a lot to announce next time as well. So please give us feedback on Discord or GitHub if you kind of like think these ideas are good, or if you want us to do something else. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you. But before I go, a couple of reminders is that we do have a how-to call in about 2 weeks that will be about how to install and set up Hummingbot Gateway. So look forward to that, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.